What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we are going to be going down to the Sunshine State, Florida. Oh wait, it's not Florida? Sorry. Florida is the Sunshine State, but it is known for many other things, like its beautiful beaches, lakes, and, well, theme parks. Florida, out of all the states I've been to, is probably my favorite state when it comes to parks. It just has so much to offer. From Orlando to Tampa, there is just an unlimited amount of parks and attractions that you could experience. And today I want to talk about my experience in Florida. More specifically, the unpopular roller coaster opinions I have on Florida's many theme parks. So let's get right into the video. This is Cedar Flags, and today, here are some of my unpopular coaster opinions from the state of Florida. So the first theme park we are going to be talking about in this video is Busch Gardens Tampa in Tampa, Florida. And I have to say, this is one of my favorites. I absolutely adore this park and everything it has, including Iron Gwazi, their newest attraction, which is an RMC Hyper Hybrid, and I cannot get enough of this thing. I rode this over a dozen times in a day, and I have to say, this ride is phenomenal. It is in my top 3, and most of the moments on the ride left me absolutely speechless. But one of the elements that left me to be desired was many people's favorite moment on the ride, the death roll. If you don't know, this is the first inversion on the ride, which is a downward spiral. Now, a lot of people say this is very forceful, this is very thrilling, but I found a lot left to be desired. This element definitely does have a great bit of whip, but I was expecting true insane ejector airtime. And no matter where I was sitting, the front or the back, I did not get that. And I was left, well, pretty disappointed because there was nothing but small floater. And I am a sucker for airtime. In fact, the rest of the ride is just absolute bonkers. From that wave turn to the airtime finale, they could have executed the death roll a little better in my personal opinion. Going all the way to Islands of Adventure in Orlando, this is definitely the park in this video that's going to have the most unpopular opinions. Getting to one of their star attractions, Hagrids, this is an intimate family style launch coaster that opened up in the late 2010s, and I have to say, I think this is truly an example of an elite family coaster. Now, when you ride other family launch coasters like something like Fire Chaser Express, it's a fun ride you get off, but it's nothing really memorable. But getting off of Hagrids, I think that's easily a top 15 coaster for me. The extremely long ride experience with the incredible theming and near miss elements, combined with the 7 launches plus a backwards one and a drop track, this ride is truly stunning. It's great to look at, it's great to ride, and it really feels like a movie. This is one of my favorite rides of all time, and I think it's going to stay that way for a while. I just like it for different reasons than a ride like Fury 325. Where I ride that for the thrill, I ride this for its incredible, long, and fun experience. The next coaster we are going to be talking about is right next door to Hagrid's. It is actually Velocicoaster, the Intamin Blitz, that seems to be the perfect roller coaster. I mean, I did not find a single dull moment on this ride, and that combined with the theming and overall environment of the layout, this ride is truly one of the best on Earth, and is an easy spot in my top 2. I'm still debating on that, but anyway, I'm going to be talking about the fact that all of the inversions on this ride are top tier. More specifically though, that 0G stall. It is the 3rd inversion on the ride. I think I like this more than the Mosasaurus roll, which is the element that gets the most attention. I mean, it is over water, which is incredible, but I think the stall is just more intense. This element has a very weird feeling. As you transition into the stall, you get positive G's, but once you are upside down, you get yanked out of your seat. Not hang time necessarily, but a feeling way more strong. You feel like you are getting pulled down to the ground out of your seat. It's like an extreme RMC ejector airtime moment, but upside down. It is very scary, and is probably my favorite out of all of the elements on this ride. The next opinion I'm going to be talking about takes place at the happiest place on Earth, Disney World, more specifically the Magic Kingdom, to talk about the most famous coaster on the planet, Space Mountain. This ride opened up in the mid-70s and has been thrilling millions of guests throughout the last few decades. And I have to say, this ride is incredible. A lot of people think that, and that's not an unpopular opinion, but when I say that Space Mountain might honestly be an elite coaster, that's where people kind of freak out. In fact, it's a very similar opinion to my Hagrid's opinion, a very fun experience with little intensity. But overall, the ride experience as a whole just adds to it. If this was an outdoor coaster, it would probably not even crack my top 100. But that indoor experience with the beautiful lights and the amazing soundtrack This just adds so much ambiance to it, and this ride is probably a top 25 ride for me. This ride is just so good, and it will always have a special place in my heart, no matter how it's treated in the near future. Let's just hope it doesn't get rethemed to Star Wars. I'd probably cry. The next two opinions are going to be talking about B&M loopers. In the first opinion, I'm going to be talking about the Incredible Hulk at Islands of Adventure, a ride I really like. I mean, this is one of my favorite rides of all time, and my favorite B&M looper. This includes rides like Raptor, Banshee, Great Bear, and of course the Busch Gardens Tampa looping rides. This ride just feels like a movie. I mean, it is themed after one. But anyways, I digress. This ride just has more positives, more negatives, more transitions than the other ones. And every single transition is done so smoothly, and it's extremely intense. I know this track was replaced a few years ago, so I don't know how it ran back then. It could have been a little rougher, but talking about the ride now, it is extremely smooth like a new B&M, but pulls that same sort of feel that an old B&M does. Gray out inducing loops, insane feeling corkscrews, and that Cobra roll even is probably my favorite I've ever been on. This ride is extremely smooth and extremely intense at the same time, which is pretty rare for a B&M. This ride is just fun, and with the theming and soundtrack, I think that adds a little more to it as well. I feel like most of this video is just talking about immersion, but this ride definitely has it as well. The Incredible Hulk is an elite roller coaster, and you cannot tell me otherwise. The final opinion I'm going to be talking about takes place at SeaWorld Orlando, and to follow that last opinion, my second favorite B&M looper is right next door to Islands at SeaWorld Orlando with Kraken. Kraken is an incredible ride, and I feel like this ride gets so overshadowed by rides like Montu, Kumba, and even Hulk, which I do slightly prefer, but I definitely think this ride is definitely a gem as well. This is a B&M floorless, which is definitely underlooked, but I have to say this ride delivers an incredible experience, especially with that new track color. All of the elements are just incredible. Now they are a little less intense than a ride like the Incredible Hulk, but I really think that's okay. With the exception of that second loop, this ride is pretty graceful, but the whip definitely delivers. I think this is one of my favorite B&M loopers simply because of the variety of elements and its very long duration. Also, it looks extremely tall. Anyways, this ride is just incredible, and that second loop after the mid-course brake run gave me an extreme gray out. This ride is just non-stop, in a calmer way than Hulk, but I would say that this ride is probably more intense than the ones at Busch Gardens Tampa. This is an insane ride, and you cannot pass this up or easily forget about it when you go to SeaWorld Orlando. So that was my video. What do you think about my coaster opinions, and what do you think about Florida in general? Should I do another part of this, or should I stop? Let me know down in the comments below. This is Cedar Flags, and I'll see you all later.